Guys, welcome back. My name's Josh. We're here with my good buddies Sam and CJ. No Charlie today. If you guys don't know, CJ's Nick, the new guy. He's our resident new guy in the gun industry. My name's Josh Brooks. I've been in the industry for about 10 years. And instead of Charlie, our washed up old head shooter, we got Sam, who some of you guys might know from our video on Magpul and Anderson. He's our resident historian.
The Colt 602, other things. Yeah,
I'm the old soul here.
Yeah.
Sam, you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Oh gosh, I don't even know where to start. Hi, I'm Sam.
Is not an alcoholic.
Yeah, I don't even know how long I've worked here. Probably 3 years. I work for both TFB and All Outdoor, as well as a staff writer. Went to gunsmithing school for 4 years for college. Yeah, that kind of covers my bases.
And you love old guns.
Yeah.
You don't like all this new hotness, the
No,
M7, X, whatever. You love like the brown Besses. You love the old stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that I work here.
What's your oldest gun?
My oldest gun?
Yeah, that you own.
Probably not as old as you guys would think. I have a Colt 1877 that was manufactured in 1901.
Oh, okay.
That would be the oldest.
What's your favorite old gun? If you could have any gun
One
from
that
history,
I own, or
any gun in the whole world from history that you can own, not just for monetary value, which one would it be?
Putting me on the spot.
Oh, I know. That's the whole point.
I don't know. I have one and I really like it. A Mauser C96 is pretty cool, pretty unique, a lot of fun. Only one screw in the whole gun.
Wow.
Yeah, and it just fastens the grips. That's it. Everything else is jigsaw puzzled together on the inside.
Technically, is
by
it
friction?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, like let's say you take the guts out of it, because the guts kind of come out in one chunk. If you were to like drop it on a table, they would kind of like fall apart.
Technically, isn't there only one screw in an AR? I'm thinking of the trigger guard. Isn't that like the only screw in an AR?
The pistol grip has a screw.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
I mean, the buffer tube is like one big screw.
Well,
There's a lot of things that are screwed in.
Yeah,
The
I guess you
old
thread that on.
M16A2 buttstocks used to have a screw as well.
Yep.
Well, okay, so that's history. But Josh, what are we here to talk about today? What are we actually here to talk about?
Today, I actually want to talk to Sam about his time gun writing at TFB and All Outdoor. So I think those are two interesting things, and not a lot of people know this, but I actually have a gun writing background myself. I started in the gun industry as a gun writer for a company called Full 30 that was originally kind of like a competitor to YouTube. But what a lot of people don't know about Full 30 is we also had like a full publication on the side where we did gun writing and gun reviews and all of that good stuff. So I wanted to pick Sam's brain about TFB and what that's been like over the years. How long have you been doing that?
Over 5 years now. Yeah, near 6, because I think I started in February of like 2020, so like right before COVID.
We're allowed to say COVID.
Sure.
Is COVID a no-no word on YouTube?
I don't know. Oh. Maybe.
We haven't figured out what all the no-no words are.
COVID.
If it is, we're screwed now.
I'm going to have to beep it out.
Yeah. But, okay, so let me ask you guys this question. Like, what is, when you say like gun writing, what is gun writing? And how come you're not just like, how come you wouldn't just say like a blogger or like a gun blogger or whatever? Like, what makes gun writing specific in this space?
I mean, technically in this day and age, I guess it really is just gun blogging, but it really goes way, 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 way back. I was actually just at a thrift store across from our social on Main. There's like an antique store, and they had issue number 11 of American Marksman from 1907.
Oh, really?
So I mean, gun writing goes all the way back, because like with anything, when you've got a niche hobby, there's people that like to write, they like the hobby, they're going to write about their hobby. So it's just kind of always been a thing that's around. And well, yeah, now the medium has evolved past like American Marksman or Recoil magazine or any of the dozens of publications that did gun stuff over the years to now where it's mostly online publications. You got Pew Pew Tactical, The Truth About Guns, the Firearms Blog, the Gear Bunker. There's a gajillion of them out there, but even though it's evolved, I mean, it's still your gun writing. You're writing about guns that makes it gun writing.
Yeah.
And also, I think the word like influencer gives me the ick. So
Oh, why is that?
Gun writer just kind of makes me, because when I think of influencer, I think of like the Instagram, like, hey guys, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
super animated.
You know, the guys I want to be.
Yeah.
Who do we know?
Yeah.
Who do we know that's like that?
Animaniacs.
Not me. I hope I'm not like that. I'm authentically influencing people.
I don't watch your stuff, CJ. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
thank you. You honor me. But so what makes Sam, I guess in your time gun writing, and I guess for you too, Josh, like how have things evolved and changed? Like what made you guys want to actually get into this space of I want to write about this? Like was it that you guys were kind of like what you said, Josh, you're good at writing and you like guns, and so therefore I'm just going to merge both of those things together? Or like what was it for you, Sam, that actually made you want to do this?
I kind of fell into it. It was very much like I met people who did that, and I was fortunate enough to be invited into that, and it just kind of worked out. These days I still very much look at it through the lens of like a newbie, even though I've been doing it for what feels like longer than 5 years, and I feel pretty confident in it. It's hard to feel super comfortable because, like you said, it is kind of ever evolving. Like when I started, I would call pre-2020 like probably the golden years of like gun blogging and stuff. These days it's kind of changed, obviously, with AI and YouTube. Like that sort of stuff has all kind of climbed, for lack of a better word. I'm a gun writer, but I don't articulate very well. It's kind of...
Don't listen to him.
Yeah.
You writers, you like to think about what you're going to say.
Yeah, no, I
before you
sit
say
there
it.
for too long on a sentence.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I've been gun writing since 2016, and even still, there's times where I feel like the imposter syndrome.
Yes, very
is
much.
huge because
100%.
there's guys in the space that have been doing it since 1991, 1985, like before I was born, and I'm almost 40, right? And these guys have just they've been around forever doing it, so you kind of feel very small when you're writing next to someone like that, especially because those guys went from writing in like, you know, these huge magazines. I'm going to keep coming back to Recoil because that's one of my old favorite magazines was Recoil. So you get guys that were writing in Recoil, and now you're in a Slack channel with them.
Yeah. So do you guys find that the audience for the readers skews older? Because what you just said, and I want to get to the future of what your guys' prediction of what the future is going to be in a little bit, but like, do you guys see the audience is a bit older who are reading the blogs, or is it mostly like younger guys getting into it? Like who? Because I guess I'm in the younger generation. You know, I YouTube stuff, I Google stuff, and I very rarely go to articles unless I'm, or gun blogs or whatever, unless I'm doing pretty in-depth research on a topic for a video or something. That's when it's really useful. But who do you would say is the audience anymore for it? Because obviously not many people are subscribing to magazines anymore, getting them to their door.
Yeah, I every year it's funny. The presence of some of the gun writing companies, the large publications, their SHOT Show presence gets smaller and smaller every year, to the point of where they're like trying to hand out free magazines with year-long subscriptions for like $1.99 or something. So that's been an interesting evolution. And I would say that in my experience, the guys that are actually taking the time to sit down and read a full article from a gun writer, they do skew probably early 30s on the young side to 50s and 60s on the older side, whereas the younger crowd, the very younger crowd from like probably 16 to 28, 29, a lot of them are going towards just, who can I go watch a video on YouTube? I mean, I don't know, you might have experienced something different on TFB. I've never written there, but
I would say it's a more unique set of or a unique situation, because all outdoor, for example, is very obviously, majority is going to be older folks. I don't know the age range, but you can just kind of tell, if I had to guess, people in their 40s to their 60s. Like it's usually like older men, and they're really interested in old guns or hunting or fishing or what, like it's just that sort of vibe there. And then TFB is more like new school cool, so you see a lot more of the younger, but I also noticed that on TFB people tend to like skim rather than, like you said, read the whole thing. The people that are reading the whole thing are normally going to age a little bit older.
I'm also going to leave comments. I've noticed, like whenever you, and this is my personal vibe. Whenever I see the comments on like our blog posts, it's usually like a guy with like either no profile picture, and it'll be like all capital letters for the name, and it's kind of, you can tell it's kind of an older way of talking when they're writing their comments.
Or it's some sort of anime something or another. That's
yeah. The anime profile pictures are universal. I think.
Those are everywhere on the internet. So Sam, what are you? I'll ask Sam this, and I'll ask you too, Josh. But Sam, what are you mostly writing on TFB now? Like you're saying, you got the new school cool stuff, you got the old stuff. So like, what are you normally writing on like a day to day?
For TFB, it's normally product reviews, and I have a series on there called Armorer's Bench, or TFB's Armorer's Bench, which is like gunsmithing stuff.
Sure.
Aside from that,
and what do you talk about on there? Particular like instructions, how tos, or tips and tricks?
I try to stay away from how-tos just because I don't want to like encourage anybody to do anything, like especially if it doesn't work out for them. But it's more of
Sam
like,
at TFB told me to do this.
It's more of a like this is how I do this sort of thing, or this is how I use this tool. Aside from that, we have other reoccurring series that I might jump in on, like Rimfire Report, Wheelgun Wednesday, FUD Friday, like all the fun names. But it's majority of that for TFB.
Yeah. Okay. And then your other publication, are you writing, how many other publications are you writing for again?
Just that and All Outdoor.
Okay, yeah. And so All Outdoor you're writing?
All Outdoor, it's mainly going to be reviews and old gun content in the form of, I have a series on there called Curious Relics.
Okay, wow, that's cool. And Josh, what do you think? Or what are you writing about these days?
So I haven't been doing too much writing lately because it's just not economically the best thing for me to be spending my time on right now. I think that's how a lot of people in that space are. Is like when I have time to do it, I do it. If I've got something I really want to write about, I write about it. But mainly just T-Tag is the only place I've been pushing. The Truth About Guns is really the only place that I've been pushing anything right now. I might have a few blogs for our website, AT3, coming in the future, but nothing like super crazy. It's just economically, it's just become not the best way to spend my time writing when I am writing. So I've got a book project that I'm working on that makes more sense for me to work on. And then of course we've got a lot of scripts that we're writing here, which eats up a lot of my writing bandwidth. So that kind of like,
it's kind of tough to write all day and then go home and write all night.
You kind of have like I don't know if it's like this for you or even you, CJ, you do a little bit of writing, but I kind of hit like a 3,000 to 4,000 word count limit per day, and like after that my brain just stops. It's like I can't make sentences that make sense anymore.
I think I'm lucky because when my day job working here, I write a lot of product descriptions, so it's very much like specs driven, very just
to the point.
Yeah, to the point. This is why you want to buy this sort of product. And then when I get home and I write article stuff, it's kind of different. It's almost completely different. So I don't use that much of that part of my brain. But yeah, towards the end of the night, it would come like midnight. I'm kind of tired of it. I don't want to do it anymore.
You hit the writing wall.
Yeah, absolutely.
The writing wall.
What do you guys think? So, so you guys, Josh, you had mentioned that it's not really economical anymore, and it's I wonder if AI has something to do with that. I'm wondering what you guys think of the future of all this with AI coming online now. With you do a Google search and there's a summary of something. Might be a summary of something you wrote, Sam.
That's a huge part of it.
And it's like it might be not a lot of people are scrolling down anymore to click those links in those articles or to see what you guys are writing. So what do you guys think the future of this kind of content creation as we move more towards an AI-centered world, a video-centered world? What do you guys think about that?
I can speak on this quite a bit because I used to, when I was working at Full 30, I used to supplement my income specifically by going to companies and writing SEO-centric blog posts. So I would go to a company like Hardhead Veterans, and I would write like a master guide to night vision mounts that was like 5,000-6,000 words and had like a big table and like how to like pick this.
Images, graphics,
Right,
all
and,
that stuff.
And I would write that, and it probably 2 days of work, I'd make $500 for that, and I could do 4 or 5 of those a month without taxing myself too heavily away from my normal job.
Yeah.
That entire category of work for freelance and ghostwriters no longer exists. The companies that are looking for that kind of stuff are literally just putting prompts into AI and then regurgitating that onto their website as close enough content.
Yeah.
It meets the user
For free for them, rather than shelling out $500 or $1,000
right,
or whatever it may be.
whatever ChatGPT costs them to use, if it costs anything. So it's come down to just going to publications where maybe you make $150, maybe you make $200 for an article that you spend 2 days on working, and then that's if the editor is like, okay, yeah, this is good enough to publish, let's get it out. So there's a chance that you might submit that and they're like, hey, this is garbage, and they kick it back to you and say what you need to fix, and then you got to spend another day working on it. That's possible. So you end up spending 4 days on a $200 article. That's not. I've never had that happen to me, but I'm sure it can happen. But it's not as economical as like just having a full-time job where I write YouTube scripts and we produce content for YouTube or just independently publishing work on Amazon and seeing where that can take you. It's fallen off a lot, I'd say. But there's still a couple of good places out there to do gun writing, and there's a lot of stand-up people in those places. Eric from Pew Pew Tactical, he's a great dude to work for. I think it's I can't remember her name. It's something with a J. I can't remember this. It's the lead editor there at Pew Pew Tactical. I cannot remember her name to save my life right now, but she's a great person. Luke, who is both at TTAG and TFB, he's a great dude as well. So, I mean, there's tons of great people that are very creative and they want that creativity to come through. But then we come back to the problem is AI is then just going to read me or Sam's article and then regurgitate it for search intent. So it kind of cuts us out away from the audience, the people that read it, and they just get the sanitized version that Google pushes out, which kind of sucks. I don't know.
No, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I don't know how much I can expand upon that, but that's kind of why I said pre-COVID times.
Pre-AI times.
Pre-grand illness times. I don't know what you want to use for that. I was always told things were a lot better, not in just like pay, but also just like content. It was when I started, everything was very SEO driven. Like it was easy to kind of check your boxes as you went to make sure something was very SEO focused and also very informative and fun to read. And now with AI, it's it almost, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, because it does matter if you want to make like a quality article, but it doesn't matter in the sense that something's just going to take that and spit it out in a couple sentences for a Google search. Like it's makes it tough.
It's a really interesting paradigm, because like the way, let me tell you how this generally works. A customer thinks they want to buy a gun, right? They want to learn something about that gun, so they want to see a review. They go to Google and they type in the gun name. Then instead of getting, in the past, they would get to Sam's review of the XM16E1 that he cloned, right?
Yeah.
They would get to his article and they'd get to read about Sam's experience with the gun, Sam's experience building the gun, Sam's experience shooting the gun, what companies he went to get everything together to build the clone.
And they'd read 4 or 5 of those to get a sense.
They would read probably 3 or 4 of those, not 4. I don't even know if there'd be that many, but they'd probably land on 1 or 2 web pages realistically, and they would read that review, and then maybe they'd go watch a YouTube video too, because that's still super, just to get really educated on it. Now the user types in XM16E1, they get 2 paragraphs or whatever Google wants to spit out at them, and then they get ads for like the next 9 search results, and then everything that was used to give that AI blurb comes below the fold on like page 2 of Google, where you can expect like 0.1% of people to ever go to is page 2 of Google.
Yeah.
So it's rough. Rough out here for a PIMP.
So what do you guys think? Do you guys think the audience wants that? I mean, I guess we're not like at Google headquarters, right? So like we don't know what the people want. But do you guys think the people want this kind of AI? I don't want to call it AI slop, but this AI slop that they used to pay you $500 to make, which in my mind, I'm sure that was a way higher quality piece than whatever ChatGPT they copy and paste in to their website. Do you guys think is the audience actually helped by that, or is all that just for the AI chatbots to then grab and then post up on their side of Google instead of an actual thing written by a human? Because I think after a while, I can tell what's written by a human and what's not, and I can tell what's AI and what's not. It's like when I'm reading an article to do research or something, I want the article written by Sam, written by Josh, written by guys at Pew Pew, written by, I want those articles. I don't want the AI stuff because I can just type that in.
I think it's really hard to answer because I think there are people that want like that really fast answer to their stuff. And there's also people that want real people's personal opinions on stuff. So like they really liked this gun because of X or because of Y, but at the same time, AI is in a place where it can take those personal opinions and combine them and give you everybody's personal opinions really fast. And so I forgot the word you used earlier, but it was perfect, where it's, God, what was it? Start with a P.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Maybe you said it was a weird paradigm or something like that.
Maybe it's.
I don't know. Just the way that the relationship, it just kind of keeps going like that. It's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad.
Yeah, I think there's positives and negatives to it. I think one of the things where we may, not just like the gun industry, but I think content writers as a whole may have shot themselves in the foot, because I mean, you remember pre-2020, you'd be like, hey, I need a omelet recipe. And then you get the recipe author's life story before you actually
Just to get to the
search
ingredients.
intent.
Yeah.
I think maybe we might have shot ourselves in the foot a little bit.
Oh,
with
this
that.
recipe's great if you're hosting your family for Thanksgiving and they're over in the... I don't care.
Yeah, I want to see.
Pairs really well with wine. Why are we suggesting wine with breakfast with this omelet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting and always changing place right now with AI, but I don't think that it is like the end of the world for writers. I think writers have to adapt and even essentially learn to use those tools. I know for you and I, we're using AI all the time when we're doing our research. For videos, it's the best way to write something and fact check it against yourself real quick. There's no bias from the AI. You say, hey, where was I wrong in this script? The AI is going to go through that generally piece by piece and say, hey, this is partially true, this is false, this is partially true, this is bang on.
Or it's a great research tool if you're like, hey, I have a question about this, but then you get a good resource like Perplexity or something like that, or you just look at the resources on the Google search and it's like, this is where they're actually pulling it from. And then you read that. And oftentimes those are the real articles that were written by somebody once upon a time. And that's still
the one thing I like about Grok, I don't know if you guys use Grok at all, but Grok as an AI actually will, in the writing, it will link out to the original articles where it pulled that information. So it does make it very easy, at least I don't really use any other AI except for that. It makes it very easy to go check the article to make sure the AI isn't full of
absolute crap.
SHIT.
Yeah. So now, I mean, we three, I guess, like you two and me as well, we've all, entered into this sort of video content creation space. And not only us, but like our business as well. Like we do pretty minimal stuff on our blog anymore, on the AT3 page. That used to be very active.
I think the last blog on AT3 was published right before I was hired.
Yeah, so that's been almost a year or so at this point, and it's so we're pretty inactive on there. But instead, we've focused heavily on YouTube and that whole content creation space. What have you guys experienced in the pivot to that, going from gun writing to now being like hosts of a YouTube channel yourselves? What has that been like? I know, Sam, you don't do it as often, I guess, as
Yeah.
me and Josh. But every time you publish a video, it gets like 100,000 views. So you are doing a pretty good job of it.
It was the topics, and you guys know it.
It was the topics. It was also
Yeah,
very
I bet you
well
this video will
written.
get 100,000 views now that you're on it. But so, what do you guys think of this pivot, and what do you think of the future of that now? Do you think more people of your guys' skill set, this is the path now in content creation?
And that's, I think, and Sam, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's a really hard thing because not all YouTubers are writers. Not all writers are YouTubers, if that makes sense. Like just about everyone that has a YouTube channel can sit down and write something. Even you, even
Me.
even as dyslexic as your scripts are sometimes. Like this man can't spell treat. He spells it T-R-E-E-T, and I have to correct it in every single one of his scripts.
That
It drives me
occasionally
nuts.
happens to me.
And sometimes in thumbnails, which some of you have seen. But
Occasionally.
anyways, you're still writing the script, even if the grammar and the English isn't perfect. But I think with writers, like with Sam, no, not taking a dig at Sam, but Sam was very like, I don't really necessarily want to be on camera. I don't have any, not that you don't want to be on camera, that I don't have any experience on camera. It's not something I'm super comfortable with.
I was made for radio.
Sam's great on
Yeah.
camera. He's actually gotten a lot better. You should seen some of like the earliest takes on some of the stuff. Where
I
it was
would,
just,
I would love to have a blooper reel. That'd be kind of fun.
I got lots of footage on all you guys.
you should do some good
Like
blooper.
end of the year blooper reel. I bet that would do really well.
But anyway, yeah. So what were you saying, Josh? Did you finish that point?
what was
of
the
like,
question?
well, it was kind of like, what do you think of this pivot towards YouTube, and what's the future of that space for people like you guys,
I
your
think-
talents?
Like purely subjectively freelance writers, if you're struggling to get by monetarily just by writing at like a publication or something and you don't want to be on camera, there's nothing stopping you from ghostwriting scripts for YouTubers. I actually had a brief stint where I was like this close to ghostwriting scripts for the infographics show.
Oh, really?
But it just was like they weren't super interested in my background or my political standing, I guess.
Fascinating.
So they didn't like some of my tweets.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
But
because they have a bit of a political.
I would agree with that
stuff.
point, though. That's a really great point, because as far as like me getting on video, the easiest thing has been writing the scripts, like just doing that, because it's what I know how to do. As far as writing an article and changing that into a script really isn't that hard, but that makes a lot more sense, potentially being a ghostwriter or something. Also, I think I don't have much experience with it, but like the YouTube space in general, I don't know if that's like being a writer and going into that is like a super comfortable transition, not just for like the investment side of it, but also YouTube no likey some stuff.
Yeah.
And they can decide what they do want and what they don't want. So
Yeah.
there's not so much of that if you're freelance writing. That's more of like an editor can say yes or no to something, and it's usually not severe. Usually they're on your team.
It's
So,
not detrimental to your entire business.
right.
So-
And the other chunk of that is I have no idea monetarily how much YouTube rewards you after a certain like subscriber count or view count or likes or whatever. I don't know how any of that works, but I assume you have to get past a certain threshold for that to
There's a bunch of
matter.
different metrics you have to hit: subscriber count, view count, watch hours, different things like that. And it can be lucrative, but again, like you said,
Not in our space.
YouTube doesn't like certain things, and so you're kind of taking a shot in the
I
dark.
bet it's a super risky
Yeah,
adventure to take.
Yeah,
If all of a sudden you're like, I'm a writer, I want to do videos now. I feel like, especially a gun writer, and then you want to do videos, I bet it would be pretty tough.
Well, and one thing that our business owner Zach always talks to us about is, the barrier to entry to YouTube is a lot harder because not only do you need to write, but then also you need camera gear. You need to have a certain level of experience with some audio stuff, and it's easier now more than ever because you can just put up a cell phone and start making stuff and have a tube light or have a ring light, and then you're ready to go. But then also, if you want to succeed and do more, you need to have a little bit of editing experience. You need to have, some experience making thumbnails, some experience, having titling and all these other things. So you kind of need to have a certain subset of a whole lot of skills to really kind of grow in the long term that maybe writers don't naturally have.
It's really, and this is, I'm assuming the people that are watching this, I mean, they're on AT3 Armory, they probably like AT3 Tactical, they know what we do as a company. So I'm going to assume that whoever's watching this is interested in firearms, and if they're watching this and thinking about getting into content creation, like that's something that everyone in this space needs to be abundantly transparent about, is if you want to get into firearms content creation to make money, you're in the wrong space.
Yeah.
Because this part of the industry is really, what's the word I'm looking for? Not well liked by some of the largest players in the space. And then you'll see in the comments of,
There you go. Make sure it's twisted towards you.
you'll see in the comments of like every video, oh, just upload to Rumble, and just upload to Rumble isn't good enough, right? Because we can upload to Rumble all day, but Rumble doesn't have anyone actually physically watching videos there. And we can't say, oh, well, go watch the videos on Rumble, because Rumble doesn't have a multi-billion-dollar user experience like YouTube does.
Also, don't tell me what to do.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
my attitude.
You're
When
not
I
my
watch
dad.
a YouTube video, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I will not.
That's right.
Tell me what to do.
That's right. Well, speaking of multiple $billion, if anybody wants a free $100, then here you go. Here's a nice little code that you can use on our website. First person to use it wins. This is a one-time code. First person to use it wins. So if you're watching this and you're at this point in the video, go use it. Okay, I'm going to be done in 3, 2, 1. There we go. What is different in gun writing versus like a YouTube script? Because you guys have done both, a lot of both. What is actually like different, and what do you guys need to consider when writing a piece that's going out on TFB or Truth About Guns or whatever, versus like, okay, there's a YouTube script, I'm going to be saying this, talking this. What are you guys
I don't have
considering?
to worry about how an article reads on a teleprompter. I don't have to worry about how it's spaced or how it's coming out of my mouth when I'm speaking it. I can do more interesting and fancier things with the words when they're written, that when I try to speak them, it's just not possible.
Yeah.
I can't think of one specifically because I've kind of ironed it out, but there have been instances early on where I would try to write something that was fancy and it would go on the teleprompter. It would just, all of a sudden we're doing one paragraph 15 times because I tried to do something goofy with the words.
I'd say the same thing. And Josh has been in the room a couple times when we've filmed one of my videos, and just the way I wrote it, like it reads really well, but coming out of your mouth, it's just like, God, that's a mouthful. Maybe not that.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that I know I've learned to do at certain times is literally do a speech to text while I'm writing, which might be one of the reasons why you hate my grammar when you read it, because it doesn't read very well at all. But then when you go and actually speak it, it's like, yeah, because when humans are talking, speaking human things, then sometimes the grammar isn't always the best. But if you actually go and read it, it's like, this doesn't make any sense. But then when you talk it, it actually sounds good. So that's kind of one of the things that I've learned to do is like, oh, if I'm gonna talk this, like the goal isn't to have the best possible written script. The goal is to have a video at the end that is really good. So that's kind of how I've always seen it.
The way I've been writing my scripts is I'll start with like a skeleton of an article where I know which beats I want to hit, and then I will write like a few sentences per beat in the way I would write an article, and then I just kind of take that and put it into my language and add like the cute little quips that you might put in there to make somebody get the giggles, or you know what I mean. But yeah.
If someone would
That's pretty close to what I do, except I add dad jokes instead of quips.
yeah.
I'm still getting used to the quips.
Me and Sam aren't old enough to do the dad joke stuff yet.
I don't have any kids, so it's really weird that I know all these dad jokes.
Not that young.
That's true. So what do you guys think, if someone was thinking about starting, like being a gun writer, and starting out, especially now? Like you said, it's really hard.
It's who you know.
Okay.
For gun writing is 100% who you know. If you know someone that knows someone who is a gun writer, then chances are they're in the circle that can get their work pushed out into those spaces. Be prepared to work for almost free for a while, where like you might like, oh yeah, if we had time, we'll get it in, and then boom, now you're a published gun writer, but you probably didn't get paid, or you got $50 or $100, or maybe they sent you a coupon code for a store or something.
Like Josh is saying, unfortunately, the money side of stuff isn't always like you're never going to be rolling in it. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it's worth the amount of time you put into something. But there's other pros to that con. Like, it's not always about making money. Like, you want to be compensated for the effort that you put in, but also you might garner a relationship with a brand or people within like a certain brand, like marketing companies and so on. You may get some hands-on time with products that you otherwise may not. Like stuff like that. There are a lot of pros where it's worth it, but if you look at it from a monetary side, it's rarely justifiable for the time that you put in, or time or effort you put in.
I think one of the coolest things that ever happened to me out of gun writing was back in 2021, Vista Outdoors did a big, huge gun writer event in Wyoming. And I say big, huge, but it was like 20 gun writers and then a bunch of Vista Outdoors companies. And they had us out there shooting long range. It was at the Silver Spur Ranch, so we were shooting long range. We shot skeet for like 6 hours. They had a 25-yard range where we shot a bunch of firearms, and then like day 2, we just drove around and did a groundhog hunt for an entire day with a bunch of Vista Outdoor stuff. Cool. And it was 100% paid for by them, and that was something that I never would have gotten to do if I hadn't been a gun writer. And they didn't specifically say, hey, if you come to this, you have to write, 7, 8 articles. It's just like, hey, you guys are all gun writers. We want to take you out, show you a good time. Maybe if you want to write an article, you write an article. If you want to get something in the future to do an article for us, let us know and we'll get it set up.
Got to meet other people in the space, make connections. Yeah.
I was going to ask, like, what is kind of the upper echelon of what you could be in this space? Is it like, you're the editor of, Pew Pew Tactical or whatever? It's like, is basically the end goal to get in with a company and work for them full time, and basically that's another way to get a job? Or is there a sustainable way to be like a freelance writer and a freelance content creator?
There are many people that are full time.
Yeah, the only equivalent. The thing I've always heard is if you became the guy that a company would go to get their opinion on products, or basically give you stuff first, or even to do the photography for your new product, like usually that's where you want to be. But yeah, I like you're saying, I don't really know anybody that necessarily.
I think Luke might actually be one of the only people I know that is. Luke is both at TFB and The Truth About Guns, and I think he might be one of the only people that is like full-time independent gun writing.
Yeah.
And that guy works a lot.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things where like I have this as a day job, and then I get home and I work on articles, and even that is a struggle. Like in today's day and age with money and stuff, like I don't envy Luke. He's probably grinding constantly.
And it's gotta be stressful. I can't imagine how stressful that is.
And there's no for sure's either, like as far as what you have to write about, whether it's like you have a physical something or another for review, or an editor asks you to write this, like it's not like a steady thing where you can count on it. It's
some days you might have piles of work, and some days it's just dry rivers.
Some months get paid a good amount for all my effort. Some months not so much because I didn't have time, products, whatever. It just didn't pan out for the month before to do all of that. And yeah. I don't know. That probably doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes perfect sense to me from my perspective. I don't know about because I've been in that. I think what I had in 2020 when I was the lead editor at Full 30 was the closest I ever was to like a full-time gun writer, and that was just cranking out SEO-centric articles about the gun industry just for Full 30, trying to bring more traffic to the content creators that were putting videos there, and also developing relationships with the companies that were advertising. They were basically running pre and post video roll ads on Full 30 videos. So those articles were kind of there to shore up those relationships with those companies, which at the same time is kind of almost like you have almost an immediate bias when you're writing that article. But if my personal perspective on that piece of the equation of how do you not have a bias is if I don't have something nice to say about a company, I just don't say anything at all. That's always been my personal motto. But
I've been lucky in that sense where I usually, let's say if it's on a review sort of scenario, I just don't ask for stuff I don't think I'll like. But every once in a while something lands in your lap where it doesn't work out and it's just kind of awkward, but just be transparent, respectful, and honest, and usually it all works out. Usually a company is pretty cool about that.
I had a friend, he has a YouTube channel, and he got sent a couple of pairs of optics from this one company, and he did testing, and he was doing this on video, and he did testing, and he did a drop test. It was like a red dot optic you put on your handgun, and and he dropped it, and it shattered or whatever right away. Just from like 4 feet, 5 feet, whatever it was, shattered. And he said, and he wrote back the company, emailed him, hey, your optic shattered. I'm gonna do an honest review, and they paid him to do this review. They paid him like $500 to do this video, and they said, oh, if you do that, we'll take away the money. Like, we're not going to give you the money if you publish that. And he said, well, screw you, I'm going to publish it. Like, I'm going to be an honest reviewer. So like, credit to him that he said, screw the money or whatever. Like, he's not going to play that game. But it is kind of interesting in that way of like, oh geez.
In like a pretty extreme scenario like that, like I can think back to one review where a gun just straight up did not work. Lots of issues. And in that situation, you don't just like hurry home and write an article saying that this gun didn't work. Usually you go, hey, so-and-so, this gun didn't work. Do you mind sending a different one? Send this one back and just...
Or is this an issue that you know about?
Stuff like that. Like, give the brand, the company, the whatever... full opportunity to like give you something that functions, and if it doesn't at the end of the day, that's what you write. But I don't know fortunately I don't know anybody that is just super chomping at the bit to burn bridges or anything like that.
It's never generally a good idea.
No.
We're in a pretty small world
Yep.
with the defense and firearms industry.
Yeah.
It's a pretty small world.
Or the war industry, as it were.
Yeah, the war industry, correction.
Yeah.
I think I've only, out of everything I've ever reviewed, I've only had one really bad experience, and it was with a 1911. It was a compensated 1911 that I got sent, and I actually didn't have the bad experience with it. So I don't know if this is common with you and the space that you're in, but a lot of the times, like, one reviewer will get something, and then multiple people will review that one something for free. And this
That
is like
one item.
Yeah.
This is like a $2,800 pistol we were reviewing, so I got it. I did.
Yeah, it's a T&E sample, so it's
Right.
test and evaluate. Usually companies won't just like throw out brand new guns to every person. Usually if it's like a more expensive item, like Josh is saying, they're going to go, here's this, thanks, we'll take it back, here's this, and it just kind of goes from person to person. So things might be
You mean they aren't
dings.
just giving you stuff to keep or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah, not
that's
really,
probably
yeah.
that's probably what a lot of our audience might be thinking is, I can
not
be a
like that.
reviewer or a gun writer and I'll just get free stuff.
Yeah, it's not quite how it
No.
works.
Okay.
But so, anyways, we got this one pistol. So I was in Salt Lake at the time, and if you're not familiar, Salt Lake is a very, very populous area with people that work in the industry as reviewers and YouTubers and gun writers. There's just tons of them. So I got this handgun in. I took it to TNT Guns and Range, which is super popular spot to go shoot. I took it there. I did everything I needed to do, wrote my review. It was great. And then I handed it off to another content creator and I said, hey, this company sent me this gun. Can you do a review and then get it around in your circle so we can kind of maximize the reviews for this company? They're a smaller company. He took it out on the range, and the first day, the first magazine, the first round, he baffle strike the compensator. I was like,
wow. Wow.
Well, so we just square that away. I think that was the only time I ever had a super like a negative experience with a firearm, and it wasn't even something that was like controllable. It was just one of those things where, SHIT happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I think mine was just the one gun that I was talking about. I don't want to like throw shade at this company or call it out, but it was a 22 and it was supposed to be a fancier, well-made 22, and it just wouldn't work. And from the factory, it had some weird like. I'm guessing it was for lubrication, but some graphite something or another in the action. Like it looked dirty, but the second one I got was the same thing, and used it with a bunch of different types of ammo and just kept on having issues with the thing. So I felt terrible about it because it was supposed to be like premium, like this is what you buy if you want a nice 22. And and sometimes you just gotta break your heart a little bit.
So this will probably be one of my last questions anyway, but how do you make it as a gun writer? If it like you guys have kind of thrown a lot of, I feel like a lot of almost like discouraging people in a certain way in this day and age. How would you guys say, okay, how do you make it, you guys who have been very successful, I would say, in this space, how do you make it?
I would say I think you've made it as a gun writer when you can just send an article to one of your editor friends, and then they will publish it 2 or 3 days later, and then
you don't do anything.
And then you move on to the next article. And I think you've made it when you're only writing articles that you want to write.
Yeah, that's a
less
good
so
point.
when you're being handed like the daily churn articles, like, hey, this law just got passed, write a 200-word journalistic piece about the law. This new gun just released, write an article about the press release. And this is my opinion. Maybe to some people, that's when you've made it as a gun writer, is you're getting assigned the articles every single day. So it's really a subjective question. My making it as a gun writer is different than Sam's, which might be different than Luke's, for example, who's the other guy that we've kind of referenced a few times in here. Luke is full time with this. I mean, Luke has really made it as a gun writer. But
I would agree with the Luke example. Like when that's your whole
income,
your
whole life.
That's I guess that's when you made it, but it's got to be so stressful. Like I guess when that's your income and it's not stressful, that's when you've made it. But as far as like being a gun writer, there's not a ton of tiers. Like you said, if you are just writing what you want to write and you get paid to do it, that's pretty nice. And I count myself very privileged, for lack of a better word, to be able to do that. And
Well, at the end of the day, you guys are making content and writing about stuff that you're interested in, that you like, and you guys succeed at it, I think, and you're helping inform people and making people more educated.
I definitely miss the older days when I could just like go to a company. Like I could just send an email to one of my buddies who owns a company and be like, hey, I'm looking for some work. Do you have any SEO writing you need done? And that was all I needed to do, to get an extra $2,000 or $3,000 in the bank account every month. But those days are I think mostly gone.
Yeah. Unless the AI bubble bursts and they try to take over the world,
I don't
and
think we get
there's
to put
laws
that-
against AI and they get shut down.
I don't think we get to put that genie back in the bottle.
I don't think so either. No.
that one's stuck.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for talking about stuff, inspiring me anyway. I feel like I learned a lot, and I think our audience learned a lot too about how to be an awesome gun writer and how to get started, or how to do it anyway. And it's a little tough, but I think it's still possible, I think.
Definitely a little bit different of a topic than is this a good is this item hype or trash?
Yeah.
Definitely a little bit more abstract.
But honestly, this is the stuff that at least we three, kind of have to think about every day, on almost a daily level of like, how do we write good content? How do we make good stuff that people want to engage with?
Especially as Z-list gun tubers.
Yeah. I don't know if Z-list is a problem. You got Mr. 100,000 views over here. I mean, yeah.
He hit that Anderson video at the exact right time. The Magpul video was very well written, though. So I think that is why the Magpul
I
video
can't
did
read,
so
so
I don't know about all that.
That's the
I'm
secret.
illiterate.
That's a secret. Don't be literate. You can make good stuff.
I'm like the Hulk, where like he's like, "That's a secret. I'm always angry." It's
Yeah.
like, that's a secret. I'm actually illiterate.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, well, we're going to call it here, guys. We will catch you all next week on Thursday. I think we might have Charlie back. No, actually, next week, Thursday, you won't see us. Next week, Thursday, it'll be Thanksgiving.
That's right.
So be thankful, spend time with your family. Maybe we publish next week's podcast on Wednesday, or maybe we just won't have one next week. We'll see. Or Friday. We can just go live on Friday.
Oh, we can do that. That'd be fun.
We'll be here on Friday. But either way, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.